Hi, I'm Ryan Sloan with Beach Ball Sports 98.9, here with
Chris?
And Emmanuel.
We're in front of the Capital One Arena talking about the Washington Wizards. Recently, they just traded Bradley Beal for Chris Paul and Landry Shamet, but Chris Paul might be declining the offer. Where do you think he'll go?
I definitely see him at a team like the Clippers. I've heard a lot of talk about the Lakers, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think the Clippers are a good fit. They're a good team, and I think it'll work really well down there.
How about you, Manny?
I think Chris Paul is going to go to a younger team like the Rockets or the Magic because they need a veteran to lead their team, and they also need a better point guard.
The Wizards definitely have a pretty young roster, and their draft pick last year was not good at all with Johnny Davis. Who do you think they should rebuild around if they have anyone, too?
I think they're going to have to. Whoever they take with the 8th pick is going to be who they're going to rebuild around. Whether it works out or not, that's going to be the play right now. They really have nothing else.
I think it's going to be either Kristaps or, like Chris said, it's going to be the 8th pick in the draft because they don't have any good players to lead the team.
We're in front of a live audience here, and we have someone raising their hand. What do you have to say?
Yeah, guys, love the show so far. So I got a question about the draft. And, they're sitting at the 8th pick, but for a team that it looks like is going into full rebuild mode, that may not be exactly where you want to be. Sure, there's still talent that can be found there, but you want to be higher up in the draft. So do you think that there's a chance that they could trade up with a team like the Hornets, like the Trailblazers, and get a guy like a Brandon Miller or a Scoot Henderson who you can anchor your rebuild around? Like, do you think they could give up a Porzingis or someone like that?
The Hornets definitely seem like they're stuck with their pick right now, as they don't really have anyone that they really want to take, as it seems. But definitely someone could. I'll hand this one off to Chris.
All right. I would kind of like what Ryan started saying, that the Hornets, they've had talks about trading their pick, that they already have LaMelo Ball, point guard, and Scoot Henderson. Really just doesn't make sense, and it would make sense to trade back. And if they could trade back to that 8, I think the Hornets would be the team that the Wizards would trade with. If it doesn't happen, the Wizards are going to be stuck at 8, and the Hornets are going to be stuck at 2. So that trade is very realistic.
Yeah, I'd say someone like Scoot Henderson could definitely help them, as the Wizards have a lot of bigs like Kristaps Porzingis and Daniel Gafford, but not a really lot of small guards, like especially since the departure of Bradley Beal. How does something like Kyle Kuzma leaving really hurt the Wizards?
I think Kyle Kuzma's defense is really what helped the Wizards, and his flexibility to score on offense and create shots and also get steals and force turnovers. I think that's really underrated, and that's what helped the Wizards this season. But I think with the leaving of Kyle Kuzma, they're not going to be as good.
Where do you think Kuzma will land possibly, Chris?
To be honest, I'm not really sure where he's going to land right now. He just opted out of his contract. He was a really solid player for the Wizards, very underrated for the Wizards, but I think there'll definitely be teams going after him, but I don't think it's going to be a huge signing wherever he goes. But I could definitely see him I wouldn't really see him at like a younger team. I'd see him at a team that's kind of just in rebuild mode, basically, and just as a solid, starting forward, power forward.
Yes, Kuzma's certainly underrated. Maybe he could go to a team like Toronto. Now we're going to wrap this Beach Ball Sports episode up, but we'll end it with an ad from Manny.
Do your feet ever hurt? Do you ever need to sit on something? Get a Sunoco chair. For the low price of $29, you can bring that chair anywhere.
Thank you.